first thing to create a halo veneer is using a wax up and a little putty. Your laboratory can make this for you, or you can make it yourself. I'm just going to put a strong composite on the incisal edges. Here I've got 8 and 9. I packed my putty with the composite resin, and then I just etched and bonded only the bottom third of the tooth, and I put my tips on. You'll get another chance to see this later, so I'm just kind of showing you the basics of it. But the putty comes off, the composite stays, I've light cured it, and now we have 2 tips on the bottom third of our teeth that we're working on. From there, that's what the tips look like. And you can see how the bottom third is shiny? That's because the bottom third has been etched and bonded, but only the bottom third. And I've placed a layer there, a tip layer, a little bit of a translucent composite there, and just put that structure in place. In this case, I've ran a little bit of opaquer through. I don't know that I did a great job, but his teeth were kind of frosty. I don't know if you can see this on some of the laterals and stuff. They have a little frostiness to them, so I threw some white opaquer through that tip area and kind of created some halos around there as well, but just a little bit of effect. Now this is interesting. This is where I wrap. Remember, I want to have an air inhibited layer at the gingiva. Look at that beautiful gingiva. I wouldn't want to hurt that or harm that. So I've wrapped a curved mylar between the teeth and just wrapped up in there. Remember, I haven't etched that part of the tooth yet, but now I put the etch inside that mylar, leave it there 15, 20 seconds, rinse it really thoroughly, and I haven't even touched the gingiva with any etch. After I've etched, you can see a little flowable composite. I put bond in there inside the mylar, and I put a little bit of flowable resin there to help me out. And now I've picked up actually some of that translucent composite there. This might actually be the Estelite Omega Milky White. I think it is. And I've created a little snake just like I did with Play-Doh when I was a kid. And I picked up that snake, and watch what I'm going to do with it. I'm just going to push it right into the top of that mylar. I'm going to start at the cervical, and I'm going to use my instrument to push that flowable composite interproximally. I'm not going to trap any air bubbles. Now you can imagine, what is the composite going to be like in the places where it's connected to the tooth? Well, it's going to be airtight. The margin's going to be perfect. It's not going to have any bubbles, and it's going to be very smooth because it's created an air inhibited layer against the mylar. There we go. We're folding that together. We're closing that up. And there we are. So what this does really is it creates like a class 1. Every one of you in this room probably does a class 1 every day where you prep the occlusal surface. Do you see the class 1? We have a wall at the incisal, we have a wall mesial, we have a wall distal, and we have a wall cervical. And all we need to do now is fill that class 1. That's what it looks like when we fill the class 1. Okay, that's the case that I was just showing you here with the little snake that went in the mylar. This is the finished product. This was yesterday's case. Got a little incisal translucency. You can see those little white wispies on the central incisor. That's just to give him a little hint of frostiness that you see, and that's going to be very believable. Okay, so the mylar works because of the air inhibited layer. The air inhibited layer or oxygen inhibited layer is extremely smooth, and we don't want those uncured resin particles near our margins. So again, we're going to place that little snake of composite up in the top, and we are going to start at the cervical, and we're going to push that flowable composite interproximally. Remember I said no seams, right? We don't want that to have any seams. We want it to be seamless. We want it to be flowable, and it looks like there's some white composite sticking out of the top of the mylar. That's actually not what that is. That's a little bit of composite that I placed on my mylar to hold it in place so it doesn't move. But do you see that I'm making a class 1? I'm just building the walls for a class 1. Filling a class 1 is the easiest thing you do. My patient's snoring here. But filling the class 1 is the easiest thing that you do. If you make a class 1, now you can add your tints. So after we have a class 1, we're going to fill it, and that's kind of the basic concept. So conceptually, you can see what I've done. You can see the outline of the class 1 that I've created, and now I'm filling the class 1 with the final layer. Now before we fill that though, I'm going to back up a step. Remember I talked about tints. Let's look at this. We might want to put a little bit of gray or blue at the incisal edge and create this little effect, just very, very subtle, of translucency.